this superintendent's report covers one whole week of action in the district because we just met last Tuesday. Last week we had 2 days of the New York State testing program for ELA in grades 3 through 8. So it's 2-day tests. We're just doing some makeup testing right now. Our elementary assistant principal and middle school assistant principal, Mr. Pinkava and Dr. Chigara's, they set up our testing for us and they did a great job, so I just wanted to thank them. And while I mention them in testing administration, I also wanted to say that it is Assistant Principals Week.
Yes.
And so wanted to add Mr. Greg Fondy to the list and take a minute to thank all 3 of our assistant principals. They do an amazing job for us, 3 very talented administrators that we have on board. They support our principals with running our buildings. They support our faculty. They support our staff. And they also support, most importantly, our students and their families. And they do it all with a tremendous amount of grace and love. So thank you to our 3 assistant principals. Yesterday, speaking of budgets, I hosted my very own webinar. So in all of these COVID era, I have never actually hosted my own webinar. It was a very interesting experience. You talk to an abyss. You have no idea if people can see you or not. It's a very interesting experience. But the pleasure was the budget, and I presented a webinar to our staff. They were in faculty meeting, so I opened it up to the faculty and staff just to get a very quick overview, not to the level of detail that we heard tonight, but a broad brushstroke of the highlights of our budget. I just think that's really important for our faculty and our staff to understand what we're trying to do with our budget that supports them so that they could do their best in supporting our students. So that was a fun learning experience for me. I don't know how it was for them. We're just going to assume it was wonderful. And I had another first-time experience. So last week I had our amazing video recorder, Tim, cut out just the superintendent's remarks from the video and sent that out to folks and asked them if they enjoyed receiving this communication from me. But I didn't turn on the feature in the form that allows external people outside without a Pleasantville email address to actually let me know. So I'm going to fix it. And I'm going to do it again, and now I'll get to really see if you like it or not. So I'm going to have a take 2 on that. I'll provide some information as well in the letter that next week is spring break, and spring has certainly sprung here in Pleasantville. We have a lot going on in our school district. Our spring sports season is well underway, and there's a great hustle and bustle after school, and our softball field, turf field, all these fields around Pleasantville, down to the tennis courts, etc. So it's wonderfully busy with our spring sports season underway. The middle school and the BRS gardens are underway. I did not get into the dirt, but I heard I saw actually perhaps some tilling going on, and the flowers, seeds being planted, and the BRS gardens are being planted as well. So super fun spring stuff. Monday, I was over at the middle school, and we had fifth graders interviewing our kindergartners to get their information so that they can write their 5th grade books.
Right.
So beautiful just to see the young kids being taken by the hand. They sat on towels and they had their interviews done, and just such a nice thing to capitalize on the outdoor, capitalize on pulling kids together from different grade levels and working on these tremendous writing books where our kindergarten kids are superheroes. So I can't wait to read them from this year.
That's a cute project.
Yeah. The end of the 3rd quarter is Friday, so anybody who has a high school student, speak to your child's counselor. I wouldn't wait till Friday. So as soon as you do, if you have a concern, make sure that you're speaking to your child's counselor. We have some exciting news in the science world. We have our middle school science Olympiads going to states this weekend. So we want to wish them well. We believe in you. We know you guys will do a great job, and we're proud of you, no matter what the outcome is. So good luck this weekend. And I already said next week is spring break, so there's no school during the week, and offices are closed on Friday. I'm going to be asking parents in the letter where I turn the form on and do the right thing this time. I'm going to be asking them if they're interested in picking up COVID tests, that they can come by the schools and pick them up so that if they want, they could use them at the end of spring break before we come back to school on the 18th. So that is the conclusion of my remarks. Thank you.
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
Tina, would you like to tell everyone what you were doing yesterday morning at the middle school on the floor?
Oh, so mean. He played the worst April Fool's joke on me, by the way, but I won't say that out loud right now, what he did to me. So I was in my adventure on foot. I call myself the sneaker superintendent sometimes, and yesterday was a sneaker day because I was touring around. And yes, I was on the floor in the library at the middle school playing games. That's what I do with my time. I just want you to know that. These kids made these phenomenal projects. Makey Mark or something, don't quote me on the name, but whatever project they used, they created their own arcade games. So wait until you see the pictures of this. I know they'll have some in the middle school newsletter. Maybe I'll include a picture. I'll see if I can mess up that technology for you. These kids were using technology. They were connecting their computers to the Makey spaces, and then when you played the game, all of these crazy cool things would happen. I want a Matchbox car because they did one of those, you know the games with the claws? Mm-hmm. So they created one of those, and I picked it up, and I earned the car for the whole period. I had to give it back, but I did earn the car for the period, so it was great. So yes, we were having, guess what, an HVAC meeting, and John had to come find me, and that's where he found me playing games with the kids. And I was testing their technology. I should probably come up. I was the lead engineer in the room, so I was testing their products, which was great.
Good.
So yeah, that was great fun, and just so lovely to see all the things that our students are engaged in socially and emotionally. I mean, they were all trying out each other's games too. They were yelling at me for what I had to go to next and what I had to try. And I'm trying to figure out, how did they do this? Like, how did they get this all to work? It was like, if you could imagine, like in a really, really, really mini space, like jumper cables, but like times 500, because there wasn't just like a red and a black.
Wow.
It was like all of these things
Wow.
connected to do all of these things that they wanted their games to do, and manipulate the technology to be able to do what they wanted. So that was a great project that was happening in the middle school
Great.
library. So, yes, thank you.
She refused to leave.
The meeting may have started late, I'm just saying.
Good.
Yeah, so thank you. Now I'm really done with my remarks.
Okay.
Thank you.